Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Yeah, man, real bumbo clock and I set the volume 8. This is the music from the my niggas. Yeah, man. Oh, ribby dim, ribby dim. Hey, la 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 Lord. You man a tribute from Black Uhuru Ray. Hey, hey, hey. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, a dream of soul. Will my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Por soñar soñé que todo cambiaría, por pensar pensé, luchar a sangre fría sin perder la fe, viviendo el día a día, más con sentimiento que marcó mi sinfonía. Darle pan al que no puede comer, darle bendición al que sepa renacer. 3000 errores solemos cometer, pero solo un gran hombre los sabrá reconocer. Y me di cuenta hoy de tantas cosas, algunas crudas, otras bastante hermosas. Son los más sabios, personas poderosas, no aquellos bastardos que destrozan nuestras prosas. Es la perdición, mala situación de manchar tu corazón por tu mala acción. Dame una razón para darte mi perdón. Siento que tu alma se consume como el humo de teblón. Derramo poesía, arte mensajero que reclamo cada día. Pretendo ser sincero, más comparto mi alegría con todo caballero que mantenga la presión cuando andamos bajo cero. Sentimientos perdidos con calma, malos actos mancharon tu alma. No pide perdón quien dispara el arma, no sabe que un ladrón se bate con el karma. Broken microphone, mystic love sound, the dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Broken microphone, mystic lover sound, the dream of soul. Real my head alone, living in Zion, but Babylon. Wanna ganja respect from Volume 8. My niggas on Volume 8, this is key on the studio respect. Alright, alright, alright. Bad boy kills, criminal of sound and rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills. Criminal of sound or rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Below the time like this. Bad boy kills. Criminal of sound or rich. Money is a gun for me. Respect the nation. Oh. La 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 la. When I can just smoking from the studio up the on. And when I can just turn nigga on the floor. When I live a sound. Oh them, ah. Bye bye rhythm, bye bye sound indeed.
Shalom, people. Shalom, hello, hello. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hello, hello, hello. Hola, ¿cómo está mi gente? Buenas noches to everybody. Good evening or good morning to the all. Hey, shalom, Elishua. Nice to see you. It's been a while. All praises, I know. I let's see. Shalom to all of y'all that are listening now or listening later, man. I appreciate you guys who are here today or tonight. And I guess for you that do have Sabbath today, so I guess shalom to your Sabbath. I will still consider that as respectful. We may not agree on all things, but at least we agree on one thing, that we got to keep the laws of God. That's the number one thing. That's for sure and without a doubt, fam. And I bring that horn out because I want to remind y'all that's important, okay? It's not for just like for wigs and giggles. I don't want to say the bad word. But anyhow, I have a good title today, The Big Payback. Big Payback. Matter of fact, I forgot about playing that song. Why am I bringing this title up? Well, there's a lot of talk. I mean, it's obvious. There's a lot of talk. Lots going on. Lots is going on. So today I'm going to just bring about some, current events and some things that have happened in the past, and I'm going to remind some people in this of this, I guess, in our sphere of this type of knowledge, right? Of who we are according to the Bible, because there's a lot of talk, and yet, I don't know if it's ignorance or stupidity when the documentation is here. Like all praises to you brothers out there that have some type of encounters or debates with random people, some random Hebrews or random wannabe or aboriginals, right? I've heard that, I guess, in the last 200 years, us who don't look Afro American and are not so-called aboriginals, that we were somehow transported in a matter of 200 years. In a matter of 200 years, we cultivated a culture, tortillas or ceviche or a caldo de pollo or, like traditional Puerto Rican food, traditional Nicaraguan, Colombian. Like in the 200 years so far, we created all of that. In 200 years. They want us to believe that, right? So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically bring out some scriptures, and I'm going to bring out some kind of meaning to the Monroe Doctrine and Manifest Destiny. And I'm not going to get too deep into the whole detail of it. I'm just going to read some information, remind people of what this whole great ideology was of these Europeans. Yes, you so-called white and you so-called black Europeans. Yes. In this channel, we do know who you are. And I will definitely remind you guys that we're going to lift up thy skirts. Nahum chapter 3 verse 1 says, let me just start it off right now. It says, woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Are we not in a bloody city? Are we not? Of course we are, man. All of us know. I mean, it's a no-brainer whether we have the real history or the filtered one. We still know who came here and what noise they caused. The noise of a whip and the noise of a rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear. Now, if you read in some of the books that I have showed y'all before, I gave y'all many, if you watch the videos, there are very, like, literally, it's mentioning these words, bright swords and glittering spears. I think it's the book, man. Like I said, man, I am still in the process of finishing off this house sale, but I think the book is called The Broken Spear, if I'm not mistaken, fam. I mean, I don't have this like as a page I want to read tonight, but if you read this book, you'll find this verse in there. Nahum 3 and 3. I think page scattering through real quick. Page, it's probably one of the intros, 17. No, it is page 17. Page 17. All right. And it says, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpse. They stumble upon their corpses. We know, like the video, the intro, I really appreciate that, brother, for what you did. Hook me up with that video, man. That is where I feel starts everything. In 1492, right, that moment, and then bam, in Tenochtitlan. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of the witchcraft, which is where we're sitting on, this is how they've gained power as well. Obviously, man, it's all of the Most High, allowing these heathens to swim in their manifest destiny. It says here, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot and the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms. Now, you, silly dogs, are going to say, yeah, y'all don't fit the curse. Oh, no, excuse me. I'm going to prove to you. I'm going to remind you guys, who are the real Hebrews of the Bible? And who really did go through the curses? That selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. You see, we never enslaved the white man. Us so-called Hispanics, us indigenous, right, of this continent, we have never enslaved any nation since the Europeans came here. We've never had part of that. And there's no record of it. There's made up stories. Oh, the 5 civilized tribes. Well, guess what, guys? You guys even debunk yourselves by using that. So I would say don't even use it, especially when I bring up this information. It says because of the multitudes and because the selling of nations, right? Okay, he goes, behold, I am against thee, save the Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. Guess what? Because now we know the true history. Now we know, at least we can connect the slavery, our slavery, with the Bible. And then obviously we assume, because we were all indoctrinated in elementary, in high school, in junior high, elementary, junior high, high school, college, and everywhere else probably, movies, everywhere that, then slavery happened, right? We found out about these things. We knew that, but we didn't know in the depthness of it. We knew that, oh yeah, the white man came from Europe, but now we know more. It wasn't just them now, was it? There is such a thing as black conquistadors, family. That's why I'm telling you, be mindful of that damn dirty 12-tribe chart. Throw it in the trash if you still use it in your home. I'm telling you right now, there's no proof, because even the own camps debunk themselves. They even say it themselves. Well, we can't prove that you're really from that tribe, but man, as you're walking to the door, you may try to open the door of Judah, and then they'll be like, oops, sorry, you're Levi. Or then what the hell is that whole concept? If that whole concept of, like, okay, for example, you got some so-called I would call them Canaanites, right, that say there's no good king, there's no good northern king. I've heard them say that, right? There's no good northern king. So if a so-called, at that time thinking he's Judah, to say that, what makes you think that when he grabs the door, he ends up being a damn, I don't know, Naphtali? You see what I'm saying, fam? You can laugh at these jokes. 12 tribes, my butt cheeks, man. Get rid of that chart. It's not worth a dime or a penny or a peso. Matter of fact, not even the centavo back in the day when Mexico had it. Let me remind y'all. Let's see. The big payback will be in 2070 and N5 Sons and Camargo Express. Let me see, bro. Hey, shalom, Mexican. I just thanked you for the vid, by the way. Expressing Anahuaca general predictions of bringing fire upon impostors, foreigners, which coincide the Bible. Man, all praises, bro. Africans in Europe gonna get it soon. Oh man, hey, listen, I look forward to it. My God, do I look forward to it, bro? You know why? Because it's still our people that are suffering. Y'all are not seeing it. I mean, we've seen at the border what's going on. People running this way. Now, some of us like, oh, well, they're gonna say, oh, well, you take them in your home. No, you're not understanding the macro. Well, let me kind of use some big words, family. The macro or microeconomics, man. You understand that in order for this country to have this much power, it needed to absorb the resources of others. That's what's capitalism. That's why verse 5 says, behold, I am against thee, say the Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. And what? I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. You see, somebody so simple as me is starting to figure y'all out. And it's not just one particular nation, fam. No, we used to think that. We used to think that. That's why I love this scripture. I mean, obviously several. And I'm all praises to the Most High that I'm allowed to get back in my classes because I really sincerely miss it, family. I need these classes, man. It keeps me, I mean, I'll say it keeps me sober. It says, Revelation 13:9, if any man here have an ear, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Let me read that again. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what the Bible says. All right? This is what the Bible is saying, fam. So guess what it means? Because I know for a fact for my gente or our gente here in this continent, whether you want to consider like, my so-called phenotype, or let's say, with my family history, right? I got proof how long I've been around in Mexico and here. I got massive families, man, a ton. And even if I went to the white man's doctrine, it says I'm 90% plus native. So whichever way you slice it, it don't matter to me because I have what I know in my spirit of this land. As a matter of fact, I don't know what it is, family, but because I was born in Guadalajara, I still miss that place. I'm just attached to that place. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It is. I mean, hey, I think we all can agree, man. You know what I mean? Like it's just something about our gente that we just. It's the people. It's the culture, man. I miss it. I'm not gonna lie. I miss it. So for me to hear this, knowing that at least my mom and my dad struggled like several of us to make it to a better life, but not much better, but better. Because guess what? Some of us that are here, we still do live through these curses. Maybe some of us have, excuse me, hold on. Sorry about that. Maybe some of us have not had so much of the physical pain of life. Now it's more mental and spiritual. There's more deafness in this understanding. The evilness is attacking more of your understanding. Not so physical like when I was young, being stupid. Some of us have that unfortunate life, right? But down south, fam, a lot of our gente don't got it easy. They don't have it easy at all. At all. Yeah, home is home. Home is home. Elishiva, hey, hold up. I had to do that because it's true. There's nothing like being home and being around your gente, man. I'm not lying to you because there's just something creative, regardless of how cangrejos we are, crab-like, which we through the scriptures are overcoming. Family, look, there's a couple brothers that I still communicate with. All praises to you, brothers that take time to talk to me, man. I know I can be annoying sometimes, but I appreciate it because now it's also helping me open up more into a more of a different man. I'm growing up as well. Y'all brothers are helping me, man. Believe it or not. Let me go back to this point because guess what? The people down south are suffering. All right. A lot of our gente are suffering. Some of us have it better than others right now, but we still are going through it. So let me remind you what this whole class is about, right? Let's payback. So check this out. This is what is called, and I bring some videos because I'm going to show you some videos and something that somebody said, somebody that you guys probably know of. And I'm hold on a second. Let me pause this.
I'm Goldie.
Somebody. Oh, anyways, I'll show you the video as I go. So, if you've never heard of this, it's called the Monroe Doctrine and a Manifest Destiny. Okay. So, you guys, for the sake of time, here I'm gonna put this thing the link. All right. Let me see here. Y'all can read it later. I'm gonna read the middle part. All right. This is by Quincy Adams. You tell me if this place sounds anything like it now. America is the last in. Hold on, let me magnify it. Boom, 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 boom. All right, here we go. America, and let me see where we're reading this from. ER Services, U.S. History. You guys can check it out. All right. It says America, in the lapse of nearly a half century, without a single exception, respected the independence of other nations while asserting and maintaining her own. Huh? Really? Okay. She is well wisher of the freedom and independence of all. She is the champion and the vindicator only of her own. Yeah, that is true, of her own. She will commend the general cause by the I'm sorry. She will commend the general cause by the countenance of her voice and the benignant sympathy of her example. She well knows that by once enlisting under other banners than her own, were they even the banners of foreign independence, she would involve herself beyond the powers of extrication, which I believe. Let's look it up before I continue. That's an interesting word. Give me a second. Extrication meaning, huh? Come on, man. Hurry up. Hurry up. It says free. Huh. Okay. Beyond the powers of, I guess, free. In all the waters of in all the wars of interest and intrigue. An individual avarice and envy and ambition, which assumed the colors and absorbed the standard of freedom. The fundamental maxim of her policy would insensibly change from liberty to force, which it's true now. But let me continue reading. The frontlet of her brow would no longer beam with the ineffable splendor of freedom and independence, but in its stead would soon be substituted in an imperial diadem, flashing in false and tarnished lustre the murky radiance of dominance and power. Wow. She might become the distractor. I'm sorry. She might become the dictatress of the world. She would be no longer the ruler of her own spirit. Her glory is not dominion, but liberty. Her march is the march of the mind. She has a spear and a shield, but the motto upon her shield is freedom, independence, peace. This has been her declaration. This has been as far as her necessary intercourse with the rest of mankind would permit her practice. Family, I think we are at this part right here. So this man says he wishes that it didn't America didn't get to this point. Apparently so. But it says here, look, the frontlet on her brows would no longer beam with the ineffable splendor of freedom and independence, but in its stead would soon be substituted an imperial diadem. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, family. I'm not a college grad. Diadem, I believe. Flashing in false and tarnished lustre the murky radiance of dominion and power. Sounds like America. Sounds like America to me, man. So now it's interesting that, he reads this and basically saying, let's not become that kind of country. Well, I don't know, man. Guess what? Go back to the scriptures like I read before, and I'll tell you. What does it say again? It says here, hold on, let me go back. Verse 5. It says here, behold, I'm Nahum 3:5. Behold, I am against thee, say the Lord of hosts. Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. Thy nakedness, meaning the truth about who they are. According to the Bible and according to their ways. Let me bring this out real quick, fam. I'm gonna show you this real quick. Watch. Where are you? Where's this page? Boom, ba-doom, boom. All right. Let me first of all read the meaning of manifest destiny, in case you guys don't know. This is from man. Again, I packed my books, fam, and I'm kind of going through my notes. All right. So my bad. I will be more thorough in my sources. I usually will not leave you guys out on the books, okay? But I think this one is called I don't want to say everything you need to know about Latin America. I think so, but I don't remember. I think so, fam. Okay. So it says, what page is it? Page 67. It reads, what exactly was Manifest Destiny? In an editorial he wrote in support of the annexation of Texas that ran in July, August 1845, the edition of United States Magazine and Democratic Review, a political and literary journal that was published monthly in Washington beginning in 1837. John O'Sullivan, the magazine co-founder and editor, put into the words that the citizens of the nascent American Republic had been feeling from the start and coined the phrase manifest destiny. In his editorial, O'Sullivan maintained that our manifest destiny is to overspread the continent allotted by Providence for the free development of our yearly multiplying millions. In a nutshell, Manifest Destiny was an Anglo-American version of the national supremacy theory and justified the aspirations of the United States to extend its borders from sea to shining sea, which it wasn't just the white man that benefited from that. Let's make that very clear. The phrase took, and so did the sentiment. Politicians of all persuasions made a mention of Manifest Destiny in articles and speeches elsewhere, and they felt as the full imperialist zeal and the purpose as the Spanish conquistadors had. Wow. In the first half of the 19th century, the American Republic worked especially hard at manifesting its destiny. Acquiring Mexican territory seemed like a logical step in American expansion. Although the more extreme exponents of Manifest Destiny spoke of pushing American borders as far north as the Arctic Circle and as far south as Tierra del Fuego, several Mexican observers have remarked that viewed from a different perspective, Manifest Destiny could have been called Mexican fate, since the nation that suffered the most from this doctrine was Mexico. Damn. Lot to lose, right? Lot to lose. Check this out. I'm not done. Watch this. Let's see if it's this page here. Where are you? Nope. Nope. Come on. Let me find it. Let me find it. Over here. Hold on, fam. Here it goes. Again, forgive me. My books are stacked. If I had them filed like how I typically do, I would know where to get them. And like I have to look at it and know it's just my bad, family. Page 93. I'll be more resourceful next time. But I think this could be from, hold on, Occupied. Occupied America, History of Chicanos by Rodolfo Acuna. I think, fam, okay? Don't hold me to it, but I think. Anyhow, let me read this part. First of all, it says, encountering the American Holocaust. That's right. The real one, right? The politics of affirmation and denial. Ward Churchill. The bigger the lie, the greater the likelihood that it will be believed. Adolf Hitler. Check this out. It says, during the 4th century spanning the time between 1492, when Christopher Columbus first set foot on the new world of the Caribbean beach, in 1892, when the U.S. Census Bureau concluded that there were fewer than 250,000 indigenous people surviving within the country's claimed boundaries, A hemispheric population estimated to have been as great as 125 million was reduced by something over 90%, which is in the Bible. The people had died in their millions of being hacked apart with axes. Let me repeat that. The people had died in their millions of being hacked apart with axes and swords, burnt alive and trampled on their horses, hunted as game, fed to dogs, shot, beaten, stabbed, scalped for bounty, hanged on meat hooks, and thrown over the sides of ships at sea. You hear that? Worked to death as slave laborers, intentionally starved, and frozen to death during a multitude of forced marches and interments, and in known number of instances, deliberately affected with epidemic diseases. You guys hear that? This happened to all of us throughout the Americas. Today, every one of these practices is continued when deemed expedient by the settler population, which have restocked the native land base with themselves. Damn! In various locales throughout the Americas. Ain't that the truth, family? Ain't that the truth? So we know that this happened to us. So I will show the nations thy nakedness. Because, see, fam, in high school, we didn't know this. They didn't teach us this. We didn't know. And then, right, like, we kind of heard it, but not in this way. Like the Bible said, listen, a nation from afar, from the end of the earth, as quick as the eagle flieth, is going to come and destroy your people in this manner. I mean, we read the page, right? Where are you? I had it right here. Oh, this one here. Oh, come on, man! I just had it. This is silly. I hate when this does this. This and I even close these windows, but apparently the way this computer works is if I open one of these, it opens the rest of them with it. I don't understand why. It really is weird. Hold up, hold up, wait up, wait up, wait up. Where are you, man? Come on. Oh, God, it's right here. It says the people had died in their millions by being hacked apart with axes and swords, burned alive. Watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 40, verse 50. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, no shew favor to the young. Fierce. Do you guys understand that word? That word is nothing to overlook, fam. Fierce is a fierce countenance. Here, I'll show you what it means. You guys need to understand what it means. You can't overlook these words. Fierce countenance. I mean, if you ever been like extremely pissed off at somebody, some of you, I'm sure some of y'all had some, street fights, and that face, that look you guys have in your face, fierce, like you're a somebody. What's going on with this damn thing? Watch this. Having or displaying an intense or ferocious aggressiveness. Savage, vicious, wild, feral, untamed, powerful, intense, violent, intense. You know what I'm saying, family? Come on. It's literally right there in front of you. Then it says, somebody with that intensity, with that fierce countenance, is going to burn you alive. It's going to use their horses to trample you. It's going to use dogs to feed it's going to use dogs, and they're going to use our children to feed them damn dogs. Then they're going to shoot them as well. Then they're going to beat them and stab them, scalp them as bounty. We know all of this. Fierce countenance. This happened to us. guess what else happened to us? I'm going to show you something else too. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Watch this real quick. Let me close these windows here. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this word. It's called, why do I have so many windows up now? Let's see. Let me go here. All right. Oh, I know why. Reduce. So where to rent them? Okay. See, you see, fam, we didn't know any better, right? You think about slavery, you don't think about us at all. There was a law called partus sequetur ventrum. Okay. This law was a legal doctrine passed in colonial Virginia in 1662 and other English crown colonies in the Americas, which defined the legal status of children born. Okay. So now you guys can read this article here. Now, typically, you're going to pull this information up, and all you're going to see is this. An African American person. All right? That's what you're going to see. So-called African American. Black, however they want to call themselves. No offense. So anyhow, all right? That's the law of 1662. Now, we know, brothers and sisters, from enough of this black convert Hebrew stuff, right? That they claim that they ruled Europe. And supposedly with that doctrine, they also used paperwork that claims that there was kings that were black kings at that time. And see, at that time, I did look up, and I guess there is a black king of England who passed this law. Wasn't white. So then I dig deeper into this, and I'm like, what the hell? Okay, well, check this out. Oh, and I should have looked up the book. I should. Anyways, I'll just move on. If I don't have the book, then oh well. But let me show you something real quick. I showed y'all this video before a long time ago. And it talks specifically about this law. You see, family, this law here wasn't talking about a law to target the so-called black woman. No, not in this channel. We're not going to sympathize or empathize with y'all. No, no, no. Enough with media BS. In this channel, we know what really happened. Okay? So I'm going to show you guys a picture of what really happened. Who was really being sold? Let me see here real quick. Let me see. Native. Are you? Here it goes. Look at this picture, fam. I found this picture very intriguing. Okay, can I tell you where I found it, honestly, to be frank with you? But I find it very interesting, and you can see the clothing at that time, right? If you look at just the picture itself, you see the dynamics, the relationship. They don't seem aggressive towards these women at all. Find it interesting that you can't see the faces of them or these dark people. But guess who's here? Guess who's selling her? Oh, a black man is holding her hand. I don't think he's holding her to run away because this guy's standing right there. He's selling her. And he's bidding. Don't think it's funny, family. This is real stuff here. You know why? You know why I know? Watch, I'll show you. I'll show you. You can hear from them themselves. You're gonna hear it from them themselves, man. I don't even have to say it. Watch. This is why you got to be mindful. You got to study, keep your eyes and ears open, and don't fall for the trap. You've already been tricked once. Ain't happening again. Watch this, family. Listen in. Hold on, all right?
To almost
Copyright disclaimer. This
really
content
the
does not
perpet-
belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles does not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
All right, let me go ahead and play it real quick here. Give me a second. Let's listen in. They're gonna explain to us. Let me see Mexican real quick. I'll read it in a bit, brother. All right, my bad, bro. Let's listen in to what their explanation is of partus aquatus ventrum. You're gonna hear it from him himself. Listen in.
was a
Well, this is a video I found. Let me just before I forget. This guy's name is UBTV. All right, subscribers. Freemasonry. It's called. All right. This is his opinion on things. This is what his research is about. I'm just using him as an example of why I find it interesting that partus aquatus ventrum didn't really apply to what I found in regards to black people. No, he says that it's regarding our gente. Let's go.
melanin deficient parent, in most cases, a father. This outcome was mostly a result of Virginia colonial slave statute, partus sequitur ventrum. That which is brought forth follows the womb, meaning the legal status of a child born of an enslaved Indian woman will always
Enslaved Indian woman. Let me bring that back.
result of Virginia colonial slave statute, partus sequitur ventrum. That which is brought forth follows the womb, meaning the legal status of a child born of an enslaved Indian woman will always remain enslaved. This law gave planters and free white men in general carte blanche authority to impregnate captured women without having to so much as even claim responsibility for their mixed race children. Just as common, these children were sold on the mulatto maid market as house niggas for an added sticker price as compared to their darker skinned counterparts. In this aspect, Virginia colonial law was totally contradictory to English common law, which states that a child's status follows the father. Of course, this law extending from the earlier Virginia codes was designed this way to assure legalized rape of indigenous women without consequence and naturally the perpetuation of slavery through a duplicitous modification of English common law.
Remember what he said, okay? So this law is allowing slavers. Now, he doesn't say it. He references white slavers, but he doesn't reference that there's other slavers too, not white. But check this out. This law is towards natives, indigenous, right? Okay, check it out.
Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free.
You hear that, family? Children born of a white mother and a black father were considered free. Let's let that sink in just for a moment. Let me repeat it again.
Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free.
One more time.
Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free and were counted among free people of color.
Oh, now we're counted among free people of color. So this means that it was happening so much so that there was a law that was passed in that time about miscegenation. What a coincidence. What a coincidence, fam. You see, it gets deeper and darker and muddier as you start digging in through these particular avenues of European history, like the brother Mexican is mentioning. This is European history. I'm doing my best to gather myself in this European history, Mexican. I don't know how to read Maya, brother. No, I wish I did. I need to study that. However, my point here is we're going into something, family. You see, first of all, I mentioned the whole manifest destiny, the Monroe doctrine, right? And I brought up all these other, examples of how we have gone through slavery and how the so-called Europeans here now, we're looking at them right here on the screen. Yes, both of you. You guys are European. Look, let me play it again. I want this to sink in. I want this to sink in. All right? Listen to what he says again.
Children born of a white mother and black father were considered free.
We were told in school that if you're in 1%, you're a slave. That's not what it says here. You know, there were laws being passed prior to 1865, which with regards to these things here. You see, prior to those years, if you could prove that you were European, but yet African American or black looking, then you weren't considered black. You were considered European, or you weren't considered a Negro. You guys need to do your history on that. So that was a fact, because I even have documentation here. And I think I did a class on it. Did I? I'm sure I did. If not, I will. It gets into actual. They're not litigation, but they're going through the. They're going back and forth between what the wording should be of the law. How could they? Because there were apparently some black folks at this time who were trying to get around from what was going to happen. That after 1865, yes, the white man was going to gain power through politics. Y'all need to do your history. So let's go.
And were counted among free people of color. White
Counted among free people of color. Interesting. So then I'm like, wait a minute. Well, that's funny. Check this out. Right? Then I found this. Where it goes right here. Give me a second. Hold on.
But guess what? Ain't nothing slick to a can of oil. Let's get to the bottom of it. We're going to start off with a little etymology, y'all.
Let me play it again, fam. Here we go.
But guess what? Ain't nothing slick to a can of oil. Let's get to the bottom of it. We're going to start off with a little etymology, y'all. Bully. I was looking it up, all right? So here goes one of the first lies. We think a bully is somebody that's beating you up in the hallway. Well, maybe they are now. But originally, it was a term of endearment, all right? And the thing that really stuck out to me was brother, all right? That's where it comes from. Brother, Dutch, brother, right? Or German, bull, or bulle, bull, lover. Do y'all know who these gentlemen are? Those are brothers. And those brothers are known as the bulle, right? But these aren't just your average Joes. These are going to be your dentists, your doctors, your pharmacists, your lawyers, all right? People in power. Before being exposed to the general public by various individuals in the 1900s and 2000s, the boule was on par with white organizations like Skull and Bones. People knew they existed, but couldn't really prove it, all right? They were the Council of Chiefs. Huh? Say it ain't so. So listen, the whole time you're thinking that this is what you got to worry about, understand that behind these masks, you just might find
a brother. That's what he says. You might just find a brother. Now, why do I say that? This is from the Free Negro in Virginia of 1619. Yeah, I think I've showed this to you guys before. Give me a second here, family. Come on, man. All of a sudden, the computer's acting all funny. Let's see if I can pull this up. This is supposed to be a new one. This one sucks. I don't like this one. Anyways, this is from, I'm at page 39. This is from, I got it out of Google, University of Michigan, the University of Michigan, The Free Negro in Virginia, 1619 or 1865 by John Anderson Russell, a dissertation submitted to the Board of University, yada, 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 1913. John Hopkins Press. Okay. You guys can check this book out. Go to archive.com or .org. You guys can get it there. Check it out. Page 39. Let's start there. Look what he reads. All right. So we know. I'm just showing y'all like the kind of like the café con leche mixture of things. You know what I'm saying? Like the café con leche mixture of people. It says here, the upper, hold on, page 39. It says the upper limit of the period in which it was possible for Negroes to come to Virginia as servants and to acquire freedom after a limited term is the year 1682. Huh. Okay. A law of 1670 was intended to enslave all Negroes brought in after its enactment. But in practice, it permitted a few to escape. In 1678, 2 men of African blood were sold for terms of 7 years. Hold on a second. What do you mean, terms of? Yes, my friends. Yes, my friends. Terms. They're not enslavement for life. Okay? Under the provision of the law of 1670, all servants not being Christians imported into custody by shipping were to be enslaved for their lives. But such servants as came by land were to serve, if boys and girls, until they're 30 years of age, if men or women, 12 years or no longer. Tricky wording, right? After this act had been enforced 12 years. Then it says, the preamble of the new act asserted that many Negroes, Moors, mulattoes, and others born in a heathen country and of heathen parents had, before coming to Virginia, been converted to the Christian faith, and that such persons, when sold in Virginia, had to be sold as servants for a limited term. Hence, an act was passed repealing the law of 1670 and making slaves all of persons of non-Christian nationalities thereafter coming into the colony, whether they came by sea or land, and whether or not they had been converted to Christianity after capture. Then it says, after the enactment of this law, the free Negro population in Virginia received from imported Negroes no more recruits. Huh? What? Hold on a second. What does that mean? After the enactment of this law, the free Negro population in Virginia received from imported Negroes no more recruits, of which we have any record until after the importation of 1777. Huh? By 1662, watch this. Other means of growth had been opened up to this class. For the next 200 years, to be freed colored population was decreased by 5 classes of colored persons. Springing from the population already existing, the class may be enumerated as the children born of free colored parents. The rule of, watch this, partus sequerti ventrum was applied constantly from 1662 to 1865. What a coincidence, family. And natural increase of pre-procreation was throughout this period an important factor in the growth of the free Negro population. Mulatto children were born of free colored mothers. You hear that? Mulatto children were born of free colored mothers. Mulatto children born of white servants or free women. Now, let me tell you, partus sequertus ventrum meant that whatever came out of her, if she was a slave, the child would be a slave. It says your mulatto children born of free colored mothers. That means if she was a free colored mother, her child would be free under partus sequertus ventrum. So if you are an indigenous individual, guess who that applied to the most? You, my sisters. You. See, we know this too. I'm going to show you this page from the Old Dominion. I think it's here. It's 2 pages, that's all. No biggie. Let me see, is it right here? Well, no, there it goes. Page 88. This is the Old Virginia, the Old Dominion. Okay. It says here, the last of this month of August, 1619, was marked as the establishment of civil liberty and self-government. Saw also the introduction of a new class of immigrant laborers. These were Negroes, whose service it now appears, were indentured, as in the case of whites from England and Europe. Previously, it has been generally accepted that they were sold to the colonists as slaves. Bringing them had been ascribed to the Dutch, which, awkwardly enough, well, that's another topic, but anyways, I'll keep going. Recent research, however, has cast a new light upon the transaction. According to the available record, these Negroes may not with certainty be called slaves, for there is no proof that their persons were held as property or on terms of any different from those of white laborers whose service were engaged under public and private ownership for varying lengths of time. Wow. On the contrary, the evidence clearly points to the customary indenture. For Virginia Archive shows that throughout the second quarter of the 17th century, after when? 1662, Negroes were being released at the end of their period of indenture. They were free. So their kids were free. You see, fam? See this? Watch this real quick. This is on page. Is this one? Page 89. It says here. Let me see. John Smith's narrative contains a report described in John Rolfe that about the last August 1619 came in Dutchman of. You guys can read that. I don't know if it's gonna really. If it was my point here? If there's a point here that I read. Let me see. Was obvious to find that under Lord James, sons of them might have become local armed plan, did not labor cargo, Dutch man of war, Negro immigrants, Virginia seemed reasonable to assure they were indentured. It's just confirming what I was saying. And then the Burma also Virginia questioning woman Negroes came before courts. Watch this. I'm gonna read this to this point, okay? It says further investigation. This page 89 of page 89 of the Virginia, the Old Dominion. Further investigation of the first importation of Negroes reveals that the secret transaction of the ship Treasurer, of which Robert Rich, Earl of Warwick, was the principal owner. This vessel was privately engaged in piratical raids upon Spanish commerce, which she and a consort tried to keep under cover. The treasure, however, was too easily identify and had unloaded at Jamestown. The Virginia settlement might well have become the loco for armed retaliation by Spain. Give me a second. Let's see. In view of the fact that records have been found of the release from service of some of these early Negro immigrants in Virginia, it seems reasonable to assume that all were indentured. All. Okay? As in the case of white servants. Okay? In 1623, in the Bermudas, also in 1625 in Virginia, questions involving Negroes came up before the courts. But check this out. In both cases, it is significant to note that the discussion was not concerned with the ownership of their persons, but of their services. You see, fam, we know that. So when you talk about lifting up thy skirts, of course, it is important. I'm gonna read this to you guys, and then I'm gonna move on to just one example here. I wanted to bring it up. Let me see. Where are you? Here it goes. Here it goes. I believe this is from. Well, let me make sure I got it right. Oh my God! I cannot believe I didn't correct this. I usually save my files properly, fam. Black slaves, page 18, chapter 2. I can't remember what book this is from. Hold on. Which one is it? Which one is it? Let me read it for y'all, fam, and then I'll try to remember if I can, okay? And again, I apologize, man. I'm still in moving phases here. My bad. Oh, well, y'all believe me. Whether you believe me, you don't, you don't. You know, the Most High knows that I'm, if I had the book here in front of me, like I typically do in front of me, like I have them, I would grab it. A lot's been going on lately. Anyways, chapter 2, it says the number of distributions of blacks slaveholding. Okay, it says in January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, thus initiating the legal process to free the slaves in the rebelling southern states and eventually to eliminate chattel slavery in North America. The ramification of Lincoln's proclamation affected not only thousands of white slave masters, which we do know of, right? We knew in school, but hundreds. Let me repeat it again, but hundreds of black slaveholders in Charleston City, okay, just in the city alone. For example, there were 91 free black slave masters just in Charleston City alone. 91 free black masters who owned 268 slaves when President Lincoln signed that historic document. Upon the conclusion of the Civil War, more than 75 black masters in that city were instructed to free their slaves, who numbered 241 bondsmen. But I thought, what happened to reparations? What happened to, I mean, what to do, right? That's why it's important to read. It's important to read, family. And whether it's a piece here and a piece there, bro, we still got to put them together, man. Some people don't read well. Some of us have to help them. Shit. I'm doing my best as much as I can, bro. I know, brothers. Some brothers have a hard time reading. Man, some brothers don't even know English. Some brothers can't even read Spanish that well. You know how I know? Because I know. My mom can't read that well. My dad read decent enough, man. 3rd grade school, 7th grade school. That's it. That's my background. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth, man. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. Anyhow, let me do my best here. So as I continue going, it reminds me here. It reminds me of Nahum 3:5, like it says, bro. Their nakedness is going to express themselves, man. So now I got something to show you. The other day, right? Let me continue with this. The other day, I saw this here, man. Some of the Sakaris brought this up. They brought this up, okay? And they like use it to go against the Revelation 2:9 guy, the white ones. Okay. So he's like, yeah, see, even your own book says this. Check this, family. This is from Safaria, Mishnah Nagame 2. It says here, Rabbi Ishmael says, so this is what they did, right? The children of Israel, may I be atonement for them, are like boxwood, neither black nor white, but of an intermediate shade. So then these guys are like, oh, hey, Mr. White Man, see, prove it says not white. But then you forget that it says not black either. So I'm looking around and I'm like, all right, well, shit, man, excuse my language, but then who are these guys? Watch this. Check it. These guys look black. So not black and not white, but intermediate shade. Intermediate shade. What does intermediate mean? Let's look it up. Intermediate. Come on, man. My apologies if I don't know how to spell. Here we go. Coming between two things in the place, in time, place, or character. So if you have, a white and bar graph, right? White, being silly, but and black bar graph, right? See, kind of saying in a sense, like black or white, but in the middle. So if you're dealing with shades of black and shades of white, but in the middle. Well, guess what, family? Last time I checked, just me, I may be wrong. But yeah, what do I know, right? Last time I checked, the white guys can't tan, and the black ones can't either. I find that ironic, right, to be honest with you, man. Now, I know they say, but see, and I'll be honest with you, man, I don't even waste my time with the people over there. I don't care because I already know, man. I already know they don't fit the curses. I already know that. And they're not trying to go around and say, no, we are the natives. And you guys aren't Israelites. They're not even bugging. No, we got a little party over here that wants to take our culture away, steal it, because they can't seem to find their own. So it's our job to remind you guys. These curses did apply to us, man. Let me show you a video from this guy. This guy, I don't know what not. I don't know if he's. I don't know what national. I don't want to say he's native. His name is Jack Forbes. Did an interview, and it was interesting what he said. Let's listen in.
century perpetrated the greatest genocide in Tartara, who said, quote, 16th century perpetrated the greatest genocide in human history. In 1500, the world population is approximately 400 million, of whom 80 million inhabit the Americas. By the middle of the 16th century, out of these 80 million, there remain 10.
Yeah. Well, that's the real Holocaust. Very comparable to the, what the Nazis did to the Jews in recent times, if not even more severe.
But you're talking from 80 million to 10 million.
That's right. Now, a lot of those people died because of new diseases that were introduced, that doesn't really let the Spaniard off the hook. Because what the Spaniard...
Before you go to that, the diseases, what are you talking about?
Well, apparently syphilis, for example, well, some people think that syphilis originated in the Caribbean, perhaps, but I don't believe that at all for reasons that I won't go into here. But I think syphilis was brought in, but also smallpox, measles, and a number of other epidemic diseases.
Okay.
But the reason those diseases, I think, had such a disastrous effect was because the Spaniard drastically interfered with the ecology. Now, we're beginning to learn today that you can't mess with the ecology of an area. Even introducing new animals and plants can disrupt the whole thing, let alone forcing people away from their traditional villages, trying to make them eat different kinds of food or not enough food.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big factors that happens to native labor and to all labor in systems of extreme oppression is that they're not fed enough. They don't get enough caloric intake. Studies of the California missions, for example, the Spanish missions in California, show that the Indian people in those missions were being underfed. They were malnourished. So it's no wonder that diseases then come along and take their toll. In addition to which, the Spaniards, in the early stages especially, were fighting a lot of battles with Indian people, and a lot of people were killed through military action. And because the Indian population was quite heavy, in central Mexico, for example, there were 20 million people. Well, it's only in this century, in recent years, that there are as many people in Mexico today, in that part of Mexico, as there were before Cortez reached Mexico in the 1520s. Some of the West Indian islands, like Haiti, there are estimates as high as 1 million or more people living on the island. Although we don't know exactly, but a lot of people. And so the Spaniards believed at first that they could just kill people off very rapidly. They could always go get more. And but then, of course, that proved to be disastrous. Now, I should mention that the native population has recovered, of course, somewhat in modern times. But even in the United States, for example, we still don't have as many native people as we probably did at the time that Columbus arrived.
How many are there?
Well, the census...
Anyways, yeah. I was saying, fam, we're here and we're back. And my apologies if I don't know what's going on with the stream. I think I might have opened too many windows here, and I was doing some work earlier, and I don't want to close this over here. Give me a second, fam. Let me see. Yeah, there's a lot of window. I'm trying to close some windows, family. I'm trying to make some. Oh man, this is bothering me. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Let me close what's not important. Let's see. What's up here? I don't need to have. I don't need this. I don't need that. Give me a second. I don't need this. I don't need this anymore. Close this window. This is done. I don't need this anymore. Sorry, fam. I just want to make sure that this is running because oh, I know why. No wonder, man. No wonder. Now I understand why. Now I know why. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I fixed the problem. You see, I had to fix the problem. No wonder it wasn't running well. Anyways, all right. So we understand now what Jack Forbes was talking about, right? And the amount of people that we lost in the prophecy. Okay, those scriptures are real. I'm gonna prove to y'all. All of the scriptures apply to us. Before I do that, again, I want to show you this, man. This is, again, walk with me, family. Just walk with me, man. I'm doing my best to provide you as much information as I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm just your brother, watchman, trying to see what I can do to show y'all some, things that I see through my eyes, and hopefully, Lord willing, y'all can be edified with the scriptures. Okay. So it says here, Mexico, we are not a colony of the United States. Okay. So now it says here, I want to read this here. AMLO says this about these guys, all right? In a speech. It's on March 22, put more coals on fire when he responded to a report issued by the U.S. State Department that warned of significant human rights issues in Mexico. The president called the reports lies and added that the real violence to be concerned are about the reports of the U.S. blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline that connects Russia and Germany. He noted, damn, it is not true. They are lying. It is pure tickling or whatever. With all due respect, it is their nature. Wow. They do not want to abandon the Monroe Doctrine and before the so-called manifest destiny. They do not want to change. So they believe they are the government of the world. And they only see the specks in someone else's eyes, and not the beam of their own. But it is not a reason to get angry. It's just the way they are. Ain't that the truth, family? Ain't that the truth? Now watch this real quick. Watch what he also says, which I find interesting because we're starting to see Revelation.
Age 49 to 63 and not able to work.
And I don't really do classes on Revelations, family, because quite frankly, I've studied. I can break down the scriptures. I can go through with y'all, but I just don't really see the benefit right now. Not for myself, and I just don't see the benefit in most of y'all, because most of us are doing our best to keep the commandments of God. Some of us are still learning how to even keep from eating pork. Anyways, for this channel, man, there's certain things that are particular, and this is just my style. I do like to get into history. Anyhow, let me continue, all right? Maybe that'll be another topic. Maybe I should do a class like that, man. The Four Horsemen. Well, the Four Nations, I'm sorry. Anyways, listen to what he says, all right? I find it so interesting. Because as I know, as I earlier have showed you, who was part of the manifest destiny. See, and who actually had slaves? Like, who really did have slaves? You know what I'm saying? That's the question, fam. Let's go. Listen to this.
Impera la oligarquía con fachada de en
He was invited to Mexico's AMLO calls out U.S. oligarchy at Biden's democracy summit. Watch this. This is not something light, family. Okay, for any president in the so-called Latin Americas to say this, it's pretty bold. Check it. Chime in and forward it. It's just 3. Is this it? Oh, is this the one? Oh man, I don't want to listen to this guy. I didn't have that one. It was the other one. What's going on, man? Hold on, family. Hold on. If I had it here, did I send it to me? Give me a second. Hold up. Hold up. Nah, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Hold up. Okay. Let's see if I can find it, family. I saw a shorter version of this. Actually, you know what? Let's just go with it, man. Maybe the Most High just wants me to use this. You know what I'm saying? I thought I had the other one, but anyways, let's listen in. Okay, let's listen into this. This is serious stuff. Let's go. The Bible is what I find more interesting is that the nations are starting to turn on Babylon. Here we go.
algunos países impera la oligarquía con fachada de democracia. ¿Cómo hablar de democracia si dominan las élites y no las mayorías? ¿Cómo hablar de democracia si en los últimos tiempos se ha dado la concentración de la riqueza en pocas manos?
Mexico's leftist president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, known as AMLO, is a very brave person because he was in
Participa el presidente de México como orador en la Cumbre por la Democracia en Estados Unidos.
Separación del poder económico y el poder político. ¿Cómo hablar de democracia si en los últimos tiempos se ha dado la concentración de la riqueza en pocas manos más ofensiva en la historia del mundo? La fortuna de una minoría ha aumentado sin límites, sin recato moral alguno, mientras hay mil millones de seres humanos que viven con menos de $1 diario. Por eso tenemos que alejarnos cada vez más del kratos sin demos, del poder sin pueblo, y asegurarnos que el propósito central del gobierno sea siempre buscar la felicidad del pueblo. Gobierno del pueblo y para el pueblo. Hoy más que nunca es necesario regresar a nuestros principios fundacionales. En 1776, la Declaración de Independencia
Switch to Chrome to protect yourself from malware, so you can surf without getting phished.
A devastating discovery has been made in Canada. The remains of 215 children have been found buried at the site of a former boarding school for Indigenous students. The school in British Columbia was part of a nationwide scheme that took in First Nations children in an effort to assimilate them into Canadian society. Investigations have shown there was widespread abuse. These latest findings are once again opening a wound that has yet to heal.
Row upon row of children's shoes, each pair marking a lost son or daughter. In Vancouver, people gathered to mourn the 215 children whose remains were found at a former Indigenous residential school, with ground-penetrating radar confirming the grim discovery.
It was shocking at every single level. And, right now, our community is grieving. We all had to take time to absorb, what we were told, what we've seen, and we're still grappling through the effects.
Founded in 1890, the Kamloops School was one of Canada's state-run Indigenous residential schools. After being forcibly separated from their parents, children were made to convert to Christianity and banned from speaking their native languages. Physical and sexual abuse by headmasters and teachers was common. A 2015 report found that over 3,200 children had died from maltreatment and neglect in what it called a cultural genocide. The Kamloops school closed in 1978, but rumours persisted.
The so-called slavery that ignores us, okay? The so-called slavery, right, that ignores us, doesn't ever mention any of this. All we know of the so-called slavery that ignores us is pictures in history books. Is that not right? Is that not correct? That's all we know. We're not seeing it anymore, but we keep seeing our people being reminded of the slavery. No, not running from a cop, that's not slavery. Not paying your bills and someone taking your children, that's not slavery. Having babies with 3 different men, that's not slavery. Being broke because you're lazy, that is not slavery. No, that's not slavery. Being told you're an alien, that's slavery. In your own land, taking your children when they feel like it, that's slavery. Not because you're a good father. Not because you got 2, 3, 4 freaking jobs to pay your bills. Because I know gente that does that. That may not be legal. No, not them. They're not causing havoc. They're just trying to live life. But guess what? They've taken them away from their kids. That's slavery. Deuteronomy 28 and 6. Let's read that, family. Deuteronomy 28 and 6. It reads, and not 28 and 6. Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thy hands. Verse 26, watch this. And thy carcasses shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Did they not find these children in cemeteries? Did that not say that?
Children's shoes, each pair marking a lost son or daughter. In Vancouver, people gathered to mourn the 250 15 children whose remains were found at a
My apologies, fam. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this stupid computer.
In Vancouver, people gathered to mourn the 215 children whose remains were found at a former Indigenous residential school with
whose remains were found in a former Indigenous residential school, meaning thy carcasses shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Isn't that what happened to our children when they were given to other people? Is that not a curse? Are we not living it right this very moment? Hey, I'll give you one right here. Verse 27. The Lord shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emeralds, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou cannot be healed. Smallpox. Destroyed a lot of our gente. That happened to us. Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Are they not here eating up our nation? The resources. It's not, did not this say earlier regarding capitalism? You have to absorb everything else that's not yours in order for you to succeed. That's the unfortunate part of capitalism, which means here, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. We didn't know them. And thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed always. It hasn't changed since 1492, fam. So that thou shalt be mad in the sight of thine eyes, where thou shalt see. Meaning what, man? Even our own damn seeds down there. Like I can't. There's nothing that people in from this country down to Mexico south. There's not much they can do because you have like Monsanto, I believe, companies. You got big companies that own seeds. Look, the Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs and the sore spots that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. We know that happened to us here. No other nation. Verse 33. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. We know that is happening to us. Are you not calling us Mexicans, beaners, wetbags? Go back home, build the border, build the wall. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the tail, he shall be the head, thou shalt be the tail. We know what nation of people run the media and handle banking. We know who they are. The so-called Jews. We know who they are. We're Jewish. Isn't that what that's what I hear. That's my understanding of it. That's the general knowledge. I'm not making it up. You gotta look it up. Then it says, moreover, all these curses shall be upon thee, and thou shalt pursue and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. And it says, verse 46, and there shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Did we not just see 1890? Do we not know of 1492? Did we not hear not too long ago that they want to invade Mexico because they feel like it? What nation can say that without being accused of war? You guys don't realize that. If Putin says that stuff, didn't he say that about Ukraine? I'm going to go Ukraine. You're that. Isn't this what Graham is saying? Let's invade Mexico. Isn't that trying to go to war? The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. The only way that he gets away with that is because they're above very high and we are very low. So this goes to you, BHIs. Verse 36, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. Now you're like, yeah. No, you guys are lying, because if you ruled Europe, then you knew the white man. And you knew Christianity. And you knew the Jesus. And the Virgin Mary. Yes. You have pictures of them with black images. But see, you guys are ignoring that, which I find very, very interesting. Last one, verse 64. It says here, to make my point, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto another, and there thou shalt serve other gods. But you say you ruled Europe, and you're showing pictures of you ruling Europe with crosses, with Black Madonna, who's the Virgin Mary. It says, and there thou shalt serve other gods. If you ruled a white man, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone, then you would not fit this curse. Especially 36. What king? And it says, 36 says, it says, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. You were over there. You knew the white man. These curses apply to us. It only makes sense, family. Again, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. So you can't say, oh, well, we're in slavery. No, it says that you didn't know them and that your fathers didn't know them. But see, we here in this continent didn't know them. We did not know the white Europeans nor the black Europeans. The Edomites and the Canaanites. Oh, yeah. Yes, that is a fact. Again, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods. But you knew this nation, and you knew their doctrine, because they only painted their images on yours, is what you say. So then that means that they didn't add the crosses to the images. No, you had the crosses to the images. You were pushing Christianity. That's what it says to me. So you can't fool it, man. Can't do it no more, family. Watch this. I'm going to end it with this. Hopefully they don't cut it off because it's kind of long, but I'm just going to put it through at this point right around Let's listen in. Watch this. It's the beginning.
Energy prices, whether it's your food prices, the entire global economic system is reliant on the safe and secure dollar. But that is no longer true, again, because we've been printing money like crazy and devalued the power of the dollar and the value of the dollar. But on top of it now, again, oil is the critical linchpin of this. If Saudi Arabia decides to join with America's enemies here and start trading oil in different currencies, that is going to undermine the entire global economic system. And here at home, you know what it's going to mean for us? It's going to mean raging inflation, so much worse than anything we have ever experienced. Will. And I'll tell you, they're setting it up so that they can then come to the rescue by introducing central bank digital currencies.
So now you see this here, right? You see this here. And this guy starts talking. But he said something in this point that caught my attention. Right here.
Everything that we're doing. I mean, it does though, this in the world, everything that we're doing.
Ability to
column here in America doing. I mean, Joe Biden is straight up saying he's going to raise taxes, new regulations, banning gas stoves, banning gas-powered cars. What do you
Boom. Now, yeah, the fall is here. That's for sure. So now, I'm going to say this to you guys, family. When he said this to me, it caught my attention. Watch this.
Gas stoves, banning gas-powered cars. What do you think?
So Biden passes a law that's banning gas stoves and banning gas cars, right? We don't know when the end is. We don't know, fam. So us as Hebrews, we have to continue working, right? So now, I know it's going to sound awkward, but as I've said it before in this channel, I've never asked for money. Never will I ask for money. And I don't sell merchandise. Never will I use the scriptures for that, fam. But what I will do for my gente is I will offer y'all something, an opportunity. Something I'm doing personally. Because I never talk about my business life, obviously, right? But me, the type of person that I am, I definitely do my homework on something that I want to get involved in. And I'm going to tell you this right now, fam. Oh, but let me take this out because it's not even pertaining to this guy. One thing I know for a fact, fam. One thing I know for a fact. That this opportunity, if you want to work, you can make money. It's honest work. It's sincere, honest work, fam. There's no gimmick. There's no pyramid scheme. It's nothing. It's a sincere opportunity. It's a sincere job offer. So you brothers and sisters, my gente, you Hispanics, right? You Native Indians, you brothers, you my Hebrew people, I'm offering an opportunity of job. If you guys want to, find out more about what this is, you see my email right there. It says 144K is woke at gmail.com. Okay. 144K is woke at gmail.com. This is a sincere opportunity. It's not BS. Send me your email, first name, last name, and a phone number. I will either text you the link or I will email you my information so you can decide on your own if this is something you want to do. It takes work, fam. It takes effort. It's not going to be like, oh, yeah, no. And it's not no get rich scheme, nothing, man. It's actual work. If you want to make money, family, send me your information. I'd love to get you connected. And then y'all are adults. You decide, man. I'm doing it. And it's helping my family. And I'm helping you brothers out. I'm not going to be here wanting to feed y'all. I'm going to show y'all how to do it. I'm going to give you a little of my knowledge, a little of this worldly knowledge to get us through these tough times because they're going to come. So all we got left is just work, man. That's all we cannot be idle in this time. So our goal is to study. Hold on a second. Study and work and raise our family and teach our children right. That's all we got left. We're not complainers. We're not asking for reparations. We're not, oh, poor me. That's not a Hebrew attitude, man. Listen, fam, y'all know this, okay? 1 Timothy 5:9, and I'm not even going to say it. It says, 1 Timothy 5, it says, but if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own household, he had denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. I'm going to tell you this right now. When you provide for your own, you also leave something behind for your children, fam. That's biblical. Our ancestors have done that. They leave their wealth to them, whether it's a little bit of wealth or more wealth. Guess what? We have to do this for our gente. So if you can leave something behind for your children, do it. Look, how I look at myself now is I stop looking at what I need. I'm forgetting about what I need. Forget about me. No more me or my needs. Now I'm focused on what my gente needs or my family needs. You guys are my children or my family, my home. I need to know, I need to care about them and what they need, and I have to go get it. And I'm praises to God that I'm becoming a better man just with that simple understanding. So again, family, this is what I have to offer. I'm not, it's up to you guys anyways. So get back to the class. That's all I got. That's all I got, fam. And hopefully it was edifying. Hopefully, it's fruitful. Hopefully I provided enough information. At least, I like to show videos. I like to show books. I like to go in scripture. I like to find definitions. And I like to kind of, start somewhere and it all kind of goes all like a little pot of milk, man. And then, pot of soup. And then all of a sudden at the end, it tastes real good. So Lord willing, man, this was edifying to y'all. Let's not forget one thing for sure, fam. Let's not forget one thing for sure. At the end of the day, this is all that matters. Okay, watch this real quick. Let me see. There it goes right here. Two scriptures. Psalms 111 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. At the end of the day, that's all it takes. That's it. Have the Most High in your mind no matter what, man. No matter what, at all times, I'm telling you, have him at all times in your mind, always. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. And don't forget this one, fam. Do not forget this one. Let me read this to y'all. Joshua 1:1 says, now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord came to pass. The servant of the Lord, I'm sorry. Let me read it again. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise and go over Jordan. Now, and all these people unto a land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given to you, as I had said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river of Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea towards the going down of the sun shall be your coast. This is actually like Israel. It's bigger than what it looks like now. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage. For unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land. And it says though, but the important part is this: be strong and of good courage. Verse 7, only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. Whithersoever thou goest. This is the important part, family. With this courage and this strength, verse 8, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So, family, the beginning of fear, the beginning of wisdom is to fear God. Have him in your mind all the time, family. I'm telling you, man. Have the Lord in your mind all the time. Always, the Most High, always in your mind, fam. Always in your mind. Always in your mind. The Most High, no matter what you go through. tough times, hard times, good times, bad times. Always have him in your mind. Put yourself outside of yourself. Think of your people. It'll help you, especially in these tough times. Study to show thyself approved. How? By having charity for your children, for your husband, for your wife, for your daughter, for your son, for your brother, for your employee, your employer, for yourself, man. Have charity for yourself. That's all I can offer you, family. So, anyways, Lord willing, y'all have a great night. Appreciate you for sticking around, man. I know I went 2 hours, but hopefully it's edifying for y'all. Anyhow, with that said, I am gonna do prayer because it's Friday evening. So let me do the. I'm gonna do the shofar, and then I'm gonna read Matthew 6. Okay. All right. I used to do this before, but today I think I need to do it again. All right. Here we go, fam. All right, fam. So, Lord willing, I can do a class soon. Okay. All right. So here we go. Where you at? Here we go. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory,